Hi, how are
How are you
you?
doing?
I'm just good. I'm just doing great. So nice to be here today with you all.
You told me you just got home, right?
Yeah, I had some urgent issues. That's why I was late. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So glad to invite
Thank
again
you.
to go live again with a Moroccan teacher. I actually used to invite teachers from different countries. Some of them are native, yeah, from different parts of the world. But it's really interesting, and as you told me, it's great to see some ambitious Moroccan teachers, actually.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm so honored to be here today. And I really
yeah. So,
congratulate you for the work you're doing. I mean, the content, everything that you're doing is grateful. So
thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, you're doing great job as well. And I would like first to start with you telling us about yourself. Let me just
Yes.
talk about myself a little bit. My name is Abdrazak, and I'm a Moroccan teacher. I teach English in a, you know, school here in El Jadida. And I try to do stuff online to help people learn English. From time to time, we invite people to talk about their experiences about learning English, or I invite teachers to benefit also from their experiences and to share their knowledge. So tell us about yourself.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Fuzia Rehani. I am an English teacher, an EFL English teacher. I'm a language trainer, and I live in Saleh, and I'm teaching in a high school. So I moved here like 4 years ago now, and I'm also doing some other stuff other than teaching. I'm studying coaching. So I just want to be a
Great.
coach in the future. Yeah, a language coach. And I'm doing some different works and I'm teaching in different language centers. So I'm teaching English, business English, communication, so for different
Hmm.
purposes. And I
Yeah,
love my job. I love what I
amazing.
do. Yeah. The
Yeah,
most important thing is that you should love what you do. That's what I really
yeah,
like about people.
sure. If you don't
Yeah.
love what you do,
Yeah.
it's a problem. You're going to be suffering for all your life.
It's like I'm just practicing my hobby every day. Despite the challenges, I'm really happy with my job because if you don't love your job, you're just gonna be tired after a whole day's work. So yeah,
Yeah,
basically yes.
but still, like teaching in general is something that is challenging for everyone all around the world. If you're
Yeah.
going to be teaching, you're going to have, or you should have some patience. You should be
Yes.
a person who's responsible. You should have actually many qualities that may not exist in many teachers. And this love and this passion, I guess, not many teachers have this. So if you find it in someone, you can see it in his eyes when he's teaching, when he's like talking to his students.
Yeah.
You can tell that this teacher loves his job. So what levels are you teaching? What levels do you teach? Do you have some
Uh,
preference in levels you teach, or you just like to teach all levels?
Basically, I'm a high school teacher. I teach in the public sector, so I'm in Common Core first year back, second back. And in the other schools where I'm working, I'm teaching different levels. I'm teaching A1, A2, B1, B2, mastery. So basically, yeah, that's what I'm teaching.
How long have you been teaching now?
So for the public sector, I kicked off in
No,
2015.
not public sector, just like in general. How
Almost 10 years now.
how many years did you
It's
when you
almost 10
started the
years now.
first time? Like
10 years now.
10 years. Yeah. So it's a quite a
Yeah,
long time. Yeah.
very.
Yeah. Do you have any preferences when it comes to teaching, like the ages?
No, the ages that I'm teaching, I
No,
like to
no. Do
teach
you have
adults.
any preferences? What do you like? Some people they like to teach kids. Some they
No,
feel comfortable teaching
basically,
adults.
I'm really good with adults. Adults.
Hmm.
I don't teach kids. I've never taught kids before.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so you should try it actually. Like something worth
Really?
trying. Yeah.
Basically, I just find it very challenging to teach kids. It's not easy. So it requires a high level of concentration, of work, because you are teaching very active souls. So it's not easy to teach small kids. But I think
Yeah.
I'm going to try one day. It's
Yeah,
a lot
sure.
of work, and I really salute all teachers who who teach kids because
Yeah,
you
I
start
love
from
when I love
scratch.
when
You start,
teachers I love when a teacher like specialized in age group.
Mhm,
Like some teachers
mhm,
they teach all ages, and this is actually I guess
mhm.
it's negative. It shows that they can teach every level. It doesn't work. So when you have like when you specialize in teaching
Yes,
group age group, that's great, I guess. So,
yes,
what are the challenges that you're facing as a teacher of English in Morocco?
um, in Morocco. Yeah,
Yeah, because there
there
are
are
some things that are special to our country.
yeah. When it comes to teaching, I guess, especially when you're teaching teenagers, it has never
Hmm.
been an easy job to teach teenagers, especially that they are dealing with a a sensitive period of age. You know that teenagers are not easy to deal with. They are
Yeah.
hired with family problems. So I mostly teach like students who have like different family problems, social problems, lack of concentration, lack of motivation, and most of all, most of them they have like built like negative attitudes toward languages. So
Hmm.
they think that English is very hard, English is very difficult. Like teacher, we have never studied English before in public schools. So especially when it comes to second back or first year students, it's really difficult to teach them when they are facing difficulties even with like constructing a sentence or a
Yeah.
correct one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lack of concentration too, lack of equipment. So we're not going to blame only students because in Moroccan schools, we're still suffering as teachers from lack of equipment. Like, you know,
Hmm.
that teaching English requires a high level of equipment. You need a data show, you need computers, you need a Wi-Fi, you need a lot of
Yeah.
things. So sometimes you're just faced with an empty class with no equipment. So it doesn't make learning tasty sometimes.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
still,
I guess
like
that you're
students, still like students' attitude towards English as a as a foreign language, they have a good attitude towards English. I mean, students, they are into learning English more than into learning French, at least in this at this time, like this period, when they reach high school at the public sector as well as the privates. I guess they love to learn English.
I think basically the reason why they do is that English has become a trend. Everybody
Hmm.
now is using English on social media when it comes to singing too, when it comes to their favorite actors, when it comes to their no, that's what they like. So
Hmm.
most people now are trying to learn English. And that's why they are eager to speak and sound native like.
Hmm.
So, but still, I mean, as a teacher, I'm still facing a lot of challenge. I'm not going to say that I'm doing a good job because we are encountering many issues. As I said, lack of concentration, lack of motivation sometimes, and
Every time.
students who have, yeah, mental health issues in high schools, and that's
Yeah.
what we are. Yeah, that's what teachers like are suffering with. I mean, students are like suffering from issues that hinder learning sometimes. And this is something that is still covered in Morocco. I mean, a lot of responsibles, like they don't care about the mental health of students. Some of them
Hmm.
suffer from depression, anxiety, stress, lack of confidence. I mean, a lot of issues. And you as a teacher, you find yourself faced with a lot of issues, a lot of barriers that you have to overcome and teach and do other jobs.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's
You know,
sometimes
I see
makes it
what you
hard.
mean. It's like when you talk about teaching, you mean like teachers. Like every teacher is facing all these issues or these
Yeah.
problems, like you have to deal with. Like the job of I'm referring to teachers of English. Like would you like say that some people, they say the job of an English teacher, of a teacher of English, is much easier than a math teacher or a French teacher or other subjects, especially high school levels. Would you agree with this? Like students, they have positive attitude. Students, they have positive attitudes towards learning English, so it makes the job easier for English teacher than to other subjects. And plus, that English is taught differently, like from French. It's taught like using songs, and it is treated as a foreign language, as opposite to French. It is treated sometimes as a mother tongue. Like when they reach the first year of baccalaureate, they have to read the novels of a high level of writers, good writers. So it's different from English.
So regardless of every language, I mean, teaching a language is always like, an enjoyable process that you get to enjoy with students. And it's not like teaching maths or teaching, mechanical or mathematical rules. When you teach a language, you teach humans, you're teaching a culture, like you're opening windows to other civilizations, you know what I mean? And teaching English can be enjoyable through like including songs, including topics, debates, seminars, activating students' knowledge, trying to, open their eyes on other cultures. So sometimes that's what makes it more, more fun. You know, it's not like maths or physics or science and earth and etc. Teaching a language is really enjoyable.
And depends also on the teacher. Like if you as a teacher, if you as a teacher succeed in making it a fun classroom, in making it a fun class, that's going to be great. But still, there are challenges, as you said. Everywhere you go, not speaking just about the public sector, like everywhere you go, teaching is full of challenges, and no one is going to say like, well, listen, I enjoy my class. You can do it, but you don't expect to do it every day. It may happen may happen sometimes, but still, it's full of challenges, and you should be up to these challenges if you want to succeed. Yeah, I think we talked much about this this side of our lives. So we would like to move to the topic to the main topic of my lives, which is learning English in general. And in relation to this, do you see, like in Morocco, not just in schools, like people in general are into learning English more than before? Like,
nobody. As a teacher, and as I told you before, I teach in different places, and I really receive a lot of people who are more interested now in learning English. Nobody can deny the significance of English as a language, and internationally, right? So it's the language that everybody now speaks. Right? And the language of marketing, the language of e-commerce, the language, of everything, science, technology. It's really of a high importance. And I guess that, since the quarantine times, a lot of people realized how much English is important. A lot of people, especially when it has to do with, work and, jobs and, commerce and etc. And I see that, especially when it comes to this new generation, they are really interested in learning English as a language. Many of my students are telling me, teacher, I just want to speak fluent. I just want to be native-like. I want to sound native-like. I want to speak English. I want to learn English. What can I do? How can you help me? Because some of them, they're thinking that they're going to find or face some stumbling blocks in the future. Teacher, I just want to do this, but I think I have to learn English to get the job or to fight for my dreams or to do this or do that or do that.
And I liked, there's one thing you said, there is one thing you said at the beginning. You mentioned like English has become a trend. And this trending, it's positive for me, it's positive and negative from two sides. Like some students, they would consider or they would focus more on sounding like native speakers rather than trying to improve their English, like for their four skills. I have students who are great when it comes to speaking, but when it comes to writing and like putting their ideas on paper, they really fail, and that's a problem. So the trend, which makes it like everyone wants to speak like Americans, wants to use it in social media and to sound cool. You know, this especially with posts with.
Yeah. I mean, just when you sit in cafes or you go to malls or whatever, just you find a squad like boys and girls like, oh my God, hi, how are you? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
hello guys, and all these words.
Hello dude, hello man, what's up? So some of them, they are just like trying to speak English for social purposes, just to sound like cool, more professional, and just to show off. But I liked it when you said that. I mean, I have some students who are good at speaking, but when it comes to writing, is a disaster. I have the same cases, especially when I receive students at the very beginning of the year, and they always talk to me and speak to me in English, and I think, yeah, I guess that they are good at English, but when it comes to writing,
the first
and I was
test you discover.
I was like, they still have problems with tenses, with writing sentences, incomplete sentences,
with spelling, with basic word spelling. That's disaster.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on?
You know, if they have problems in tenses. They have problems in tenses. That's okay. I'm speaking about they have problems in basic word spellings. Like they would write because without e, they would, you know.
They are spoon-feeded with words like with trendy words just to use on social media. Like, oh my God, like what's up, like how are you, like I'm fine. So, but when it comes to writing essays, or I mean, even the techniques of writing, they are like they are starting from scratch. They know nothing. Yeah.
And the problem is that they don't realize this. They're not aware that they have really big issues in language, even if they could speak some words, even if they can have a conversation with you as a teacher. Still, you have as a teacher to tell them that, listen, you are a student. You're not someone who's going just to talk. You know what I used to tell my students who have this issue? I told them, listen, one day you're going to sit for an exam, and they're going to put a paper in front of you, and they're going to tell you to write. You're not going to speak. So if you have nothing, if you can't write, then even if you can speak, that's useless.
Yeah, so I mean, just when I keep correcting my students, I mean, papers, I always face words like dude, for example, like gonna, like wanna, like what's up, and I was saying, hey guys, there is a very huge difference between spoken and written English. Yeah, you have to know that. Teacher, is it okay if I say I'm gonna? I think it's correct, because
the problem, they tell you that we say it, we heard it. Yes, you heard it, you can say it, but when you write, you can't write it. That's the problem.
You know why? As I told you, because English is becoming a trend, and they use English that is like omnipresent on social media, or by actors, or by singers, or by influencers on Instagram, and they think that this is the right English. They still have no idea that there is a difference between someone who, for example, someone who's a teacher, someone who's your father, someone who's a friend, like someone who you get like friendly talks with, and there is a difference between what you say and what you write. So this is that's one of the most, like, the biggest problems I face with my students, and they think it's okay to say dude in the class, for example, or just gonna, like, wanna, like a gang or whatever.
They're confident. They're confident. And you talk to them, when you tell them that you can't use gonna in writing, they say, no, teacher, we say it, we use it.
And sometimes they even swear, like they use some big words that they shouldn't use in the class. Teacher, why it's not okay? I keep hearing someone say that. No, that's not something you should utter.
Yeah. So in relation to this, like apart from school, like learning English in general, some people, they would prefer to study English at home, to use some resources online, rather than going to a language center or joining an evening class or something like this. So for you, independent learning, can it be like more beneficial than like joining the class if we have the will, if we're into learning.
Shall I talk about my experience or how I learned English, or shall I talk in general?
Yeah, you can talk about your experience. We would love to know about it. Yes.
Yeah, so for me, sometimes my students keep asking me questions like, teacher, how did you learn English? So
Yeah.
did you study English in a private school, or has someone helped you, or blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, first of all, I was really good at French. I have never had an idea about English as a language. And there was a teacher that taught me in Common Core, I guess. She was very creative, very motivated. She was a down-to-earth person. And she always like sees that thing in students. Like she was encouraging us, supporting us, and she has a good poster of a teacher. And I was always like, seriously, I just want to be like her. She inspired me to go and study English at home. And I didn't even ask for help at that time. I started with like movies, with watching movies, not even watching, but sometimes when I hear a word in English, I jot it down in my agenda and write it and practicing it every day. And then I found out that English is a very beautiful language. And I was wondering, how do people, some students hear songs and they understand things without even translating them? I need to know the secret behind that. So I started listening to songs and just printing the lyrics and going over words and using them in daily English. And I was like, I have to learn English like sooner or later. So I started with movies and songs.
When was this? That was in after Common Core?
It was back when I was a Common Core student. It was in 2008. I was 16, I guess, or 15 at that time. I was very young. But nobody helped me. I just did it alone. And I wish if there was a pedagogical guideline back then to guide me and know what to do. So I just started practicing English with native speakers on Facebook. And I moved to, talking to myself in the mirror. I used to be a fan of an American singer. And I used to watch her interviews on YouTube.
Who was she?
Demi Lovato. I don't know if you know her, but
of course,
I'm a huge fan of her. I'm a huge
She's a great singer,
Yeah. So I just the only way to connect to her and understand what she's doing is to learn English. She inspired me to do that. So I started talking to my friends on English, trying to connect with native speakers, downloading apps where I can talk to foreigners. And then there was a way that helped me a lot, which was like talking to myself in the mirror. I used to make copies of interviews and just switch roles, like I'm the journalist and the interviewer at the same time. So I was talking to myself and trying to imitate her accent. Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess it's really helpful because I had nobody to practice with. Nobody in my family, speak English.
I do recommend this. I used it myself. Talking to yourself, using a mirror, recording even sometimes, like trying to create a way where you can talk to yourself.
Yes. So this is one of the greatest methods because, it may work for me, but it may not work for somebody else.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
What works for you may not work for me.
Yeah.
But
so you're telling us now about your experience now. You're talking about your experience.
So, learning, talking to yourself in a mirror, boosts self-confidence. It helps you to learn pronunciation. And it helps you to look at yourself while you talk.
To gain confidence, as well.
Yeah, of course, because when you talk to yourself like that and just trying to imitate other native speakers, it helps a lot. It helped me to learn English. So that is day after day. I was because I was determined. I was determined to learn English. So I used to practice daily, use phone calls, video calls, talking to myself in the mirror. After 4 months, I acquired some basics of English and started talking with fluently. So it went like that.
Yeah. How much time did it take you to acquire the basics of English? 4 months.
Almost 3 to 4 months. But I couldn't stop. like I made a lot of efforts. Like I was noting down, jotting
It's
down,
like you were,
watching movies, practicing new words, using them in daily life. And
let's
I
say,
mean, yeah,
you were determined, like you
very,
set a goal and you really wanted to learn English.
yeah.
That's why it's like you give it time. That's why 4 months, I guess, it's a time where you can learn some basics, but still like improving your fluency, improving your speaking skills. I think it takes time. And
It's an ongoing process. It never
yes,
stops.
an ongoing process. Yeah, that's what I used to tell. And the problem is that some learners, some English learners, at the beginning when they start, they look for this point immediately. So they start looking, when can I talk fluently like you? When can I talk like this person? When can I talk like Barack Obama? Say like speaking fluency. This is a process, and I think even native speaker may learn new things every day and may learn to speak fluently, because fluency also depends on what you want. Sometimes all you want is just to I don't know, communicate on social media. If that's fluency for you, I guess you only need some time, not a lot of time.
Let me tell you just one thing. I mean, even if I'm a teacher now, I mean, I always feel the need, like, hey, Fuzia, you have to improve your English daily.
I have the same feeling. Yes.
Yeah, I always read. I read newspapers just to acquire, I mean, daily words and professional words. And even before I sleep, I just put on some podcasts and just listen to them, learn some new words, trying to discover the pronunciation, trying to see whether I still make mistakes here or there. So even now, I'm still like doing that like on a daily basis. And I always tell my students that even if I'm a teacher, I always work on myself to be better and to speak a better English, because we're not native speakers. And learning a language is it's an ongoing process. So there's every day there's something new. There are new words added. There are new topics. There are new hot issues. So you should like keep being posted about that.
Yes, you know, I've had guests, different teachers from England, from United States. They told me the same thing. Even their native speaker. They told me like one of them, he said, I learned 10 words a day. I say, he's from Britain. He's I guess he's from England. He's from England. He told me I learned 10 words a day. Say, how come you're a native speaker and still you're learning new words? You say, yes, it never stops. Learning never stops, and there is always something new to learn. And as a teacher, you may ask the questions from your students you may not know, and sometimes you say, they ask me about some vocabulary that I don't know, and I say, I have no idea about this. I've never come across this word. Maybe I check it for you in the dictionary. Wait a minute, I check it for you. They found that they say, teacher, you are a teacher, you don't know. You say, yes, I am Moroccan. I was born and raised here, and I speak the same language as you do. So don't expect me to know everything. Especially when when we have writing, they try to come up with words that like, say, I can't know everything. And no one knows everything.
By the way, I mean, just between brackets, I liked the gesture when you just told your students that you don't understand a word, because it shows them that you are, I mean, someone who's not showing off, and like you are a teacher and you are always ready to learn and being honest. And honesty is a good quality of teachers. Like if somebody says, teacher, what does that mean? And I was like, I'm sorry, I have never came across this word. So just go and look for it. Instead of saying, does it exist? I don't think you're right. I mean, just
or you give them a false one. Or you give them a false one. Or some teachers, they give false words. That's the problem. I still remember there was a day when a student, like, he was like, teacher, what does that mean? And I was confused because I've never heard the word. And that student, he was a huge book reader. And I was like, I'm sorry, can you just check it up for me? Look it up for me? And he was like, teacher, I have never heard someone saying that easily. I don't know, like most teachers, they keep like yelling at us, not liking it when somebody says that you don't know that. I was like, hey, I was born in Morocco. I was not born in the UK or in the United States. So there is a new word every day, and there are different levels of English.
If I don't
Of
know
course.
something, I'm gonna be candid about it and say I don't know, and I may learn a word from
You
you.
tell them that's it. That's what I was about to say. It's you may
Yeah,
teach me some new words.
certain.
You may go and
Yes,
look up a word in dictionary, and you may teach me. Teacher, I found out about this
and they
new word,
like it.
and it means
They
this
like
and
it a
this and
lot.
this. Yeah, because that's how many words exist in the dictionary, like too many
Yeah.
words. And even your native language is Arabic. We don't know every word in the Arabic language. Like we don't know every word. Even
Yeah,
in Moroccan
when it
Darija, we
comes
don't know every
to
word.
when it
I'm
comes
pretty.
to when it comes to standard Arabic, sometimes you're just like, you open your mouth, you say, "Wow, does this even exist?" Yeah, because
Yeah,
even if you
it's
are,
the first time I hear this word. Especially for English. English is not just spoken in the United States. Some people, they think that only Britain or England and USA speak English. You know how many countries in the world speak English? There's New Zealand, there's
in
Australia,
different
there is
accents, in
a
different
different
accents.
accent and different Englishes as well, and different
Yeah,
versions of the same word. You found it pronounced differently in some countries.
yeah,
You find like sometimes even the word is completely different.
yeah.
South
So
Africa,
if
they
you go
speak
to
English, so
Scotland or Wales or Great Britain, English differs from these regions themselves.
yeah, it
Let
differs.
alone Brazil, Australia, United States, Africa, Nigeria. So it's different.
Yeah, and what's great about English actually, and what's nice about English is that it is a language
Yeah,
that you can use everywhere. Where you can use
yeah,
wherever you go. Like you may go to
yeah,
Brazil, still you speak English and you will be understood. You may go to Malaysia, speak English and you will be understood. As opposite to other languages, like the one we're learning here as a second language, which is French,
yeah.
you
It's
can't
high
use it.
time. It's high
Yeah,
time we should raise awareness on the importance of English. And I always keep trying to tell my students, hey guys, it's not only about what you do here with me for the back exam, but you're going to need it
yeah, in
sooner or
future.
later.
Yeah,
English is becoming an important language that everybody should learn. And let me tell you just one more thing. In the language center where I work, I have different ages, group ages when it comes to English. I receive, housewives, people who work in multinational companies,
yeah,
accountants, receptionists, doctors, people who are 45, 43, 30. I was like, why are you here? We regret the time that we couldn't learn
yeah,
English before. Because
yeah.
English, I want to get a promotion, but I don't know how to speak English. I want to leave the country, but I don't know how to speak English. I got something to do abroad, and I don't know how to
I
speak
got an
English.
opportunity to work abroad and they require English and I didn't have
Yeah,
English at that time and I lost a job. You know how many
yeah,
people lose or every year they lose opportunities just
yeah.
because the lack of language. And why not you as a student now in the second year baccalaureate or in even before you start learning, you start working on English because
Mhm.
you don't know what the future is going to bring. Maybe you will,
Yeah,
after 5 years, they will say, hey, listen, no French anymore. Just, yeah, go back to or go to English. Like everything will be switched into English. We don't know
and
for sure what will happen in the future. It's a
I
possibility,
think I think now even Moroccan government now is more stressing on the importance of English, and it's implicitly telling us that English in the future is going to dominate all the domains and all the sectors, and it's a
yeah, but
plus now.
still, it's
Even now, if you
a bit
have
tough to
if you
do.
have BA degree or master degree or whatever, when you apply for a job and you tell them, hey, I have B2 level or C1 level in English, they're like, I think we should hire this
Yeah,
person because he speaks English.
yeah.
We may have relationships with other countries or clients from everywhere, and we're going to
Yeah.
need you. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell my students, think about any major you want to follow after the back. Think about
Mm-hmm.
everything. Everything. Engineering,
Mm-hmm.
you need English. You want
Science,
to be a doctor, you need
technology,
English. You go for university,
medicine.
you will need it. You will have higher education, like masters and PhD, you will need English. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no other way than to, you have no choice.
Yeah, it
You
is an
have to
easy
learn it.
language, and it's not. I just discovered that English is really it's not a difficult language to learn. You just need to be to have to be motivated to do so. English is
Yeah.
very easy. It's very clear. It's right to the point. It's not really that huge task to do or whatever.
You know, it has to do with, as I told you in the beginning, the word I told you, the attitude. The attitude we have towards English is different from the one we have on French. We have problems with French, and to be honest, I myself had problems with French. Still up to now have problems with French. Why? Because the way French was introduced to us, maybe in primary or after that, it was wrong or needs to be reconsidered. But still, like there is like a big number of Moroccans who have problems with French, which they don't have with English.
And the contradiction is that, I mean, we go through French since childhood, since primary school, until the second year back, and still students cannot even know how to pronounce a word in French. But when it comes to English, you just start it in
3 years, and yes.
And they
that's the attitude.
Learn it easily. So maybe because we
it's only psychological, you know. It's only psychological. It's only psychological. It's here. It's a brain, like a new language.
I myself had never had the opportunity to be taught by a French teacher who would just introduce the language in a very, creative way. I mean, we were just like agents or robots that we have to memorize poems and alphabet syntax and etc. But no drama techniques, no theater, no clubs, no communication, nothing. You just have to memorize. And if you don't, you're gonna have minuses here or whatever. So I guess
they don't have a choice. Attitude. Like it's French is different.
And most students, they're like, teacher, ما كنحملوش الفرنسي. They always say that. They always say that.
Not all of them, of course. There are some students who love French.
But but there is a high percentage of students who don't like French. I mean, here I would like to say that attitudes are a powerful weapon.
Yeah.
Really.
It's only the idea you bring with you from primary that French is difficult, conjugaison, terminaison, all these things that make you hate the language. They make you it makes you hate too many rules. You know, it happens also with Arabic language. Like students in middle school. Yes. As opposite to English, we introduce it differently. That's why. Because it is not a language or it is not a school subject that needs like, it's not really that important in our curriculum. It doesn't take, even in the counting, when they count results, it doesn't take like the place of French or something. So it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
See if we got some questions. So just a reminder, guys, any questions, you can put them in the comments. There is a question box down here. You can see it, I guess. Let's see if we have some general questions.
Here. Okay.
Okay, question about the accent. Muhammad is saying, please, would you give us some steps to follow to get an accent? I see what Muhammad, he means the pronunciation, working on your pronunciation. That's what he means. Any tips, any things we can do to work on our pronunciation? Because accent, that's a different story.
Learning English does not only requires writing or learning grammatical rules or just reading, but pronunciation, I guess, is more attractive. Because when you speak English and you are using, I'm not really saying that you have to just adopt the US accent or the British accent, but what matters for me personally speaking, is that you speak a clean and a decent English. No mistakes when it comes to pronunciation. But if you want to improve or like work on a native like pronunciation, I always stress on the importance of listening. When you so for you, Muhammad, when you come across a new word and you just go to dictionaries or online dictionaries and you look it up, don't forget to like look for the way how it is pronounced. It's not only about knowing what does it mean, but check the pronunciation. I mean, now there are many options that you can do online. You have US culture, Australian culture, you know, British accent. You just need to click right where you want, and you hear the word and you repeat it. You repeat it and you repeat it. Plus,
Yeah.
watching movies help a lot. Listening to native speakers help a lot. And when you learn a new word and you know how it is pronounced, do the mirror exercise. Just try to talk to yourself using that pronunciation. It helps a lot.
That's what I would like to add about moving from just receiving the language to using the language, because as you said, listening is important, and listening takes many forms. And like some people, they like to listen to music, to songs. Some people, they like to watch movies. So it depends on what you like to do already. Like in your life, you like to watch movies, do it in English. You like listening to music, do it in English. You like podcasts, like listen to podcasts. You like news, watch BBC. Don't do something that you don't like. For example, some teachers or some online teachers, they recommend go and watch BBC, but I don't like the news. I don't like hearing the news in Arabic. So how would you recommend something that I don't really like? So do something that you like.
Yeah. I actually tell my students that thank you for raising the point. I always tell my students that when it comes to teacher, but we don't like to listen to politics or news or whatever. Hey, just go and look for what your interests are, right? Yeah. If you like music, for example, me, I used to watch that singer I told you about. I mean, I have watched millions and millions and millions of interviews to the point that
you'll never be bored of this. You'll never be bored.
My classmate used to tell me that you are just like, you sound like her, because I was fangirling and watching her YouTube videos and trying to imitate her. If you like sports, watch sport. If you like music, go and watch music. If you like a different type of a singer, go to YouTube, type the name, and watch his interviews. If you like politics, just go watch politics. And you should look at what your interests are. Yeah.
I don't think anyone would like politics anymore. They made us hate politics. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's this question. What is the best, Erdogan is asking, what is the best accent should people follow? I would like to say something, and then I'll see your opinion. Accent, guys, is different from pronunciation. When you say pronunciation, that means that you should have something accurate. When people hear you, they would understand that you're saying this word. Okay? The accent has to do with region or has to do with the place where they speak the language. And there are like, I don't know, like hundreds of accents all around the world. Just in the United States, I guess there are many, many, many accents, and they are different. And the problem is not really the accent. The problem is pronunciation. You should focus on making your pronunciation clear. When people hear you, they can understand what you say. Full stop. Don't worry yourself too much about sounding or having a specific accent. It's not a problem if you have a preference when it comes to British or American. I love that, and it's actually something encouraging because it works like as something that is motivating to us. You know, when you like the British accent and you go and listen to people speak and you get fascinated, and this drives you like to be more motivated to learn the language. This is good. But to put it first as a first objective or as a first goal, I should have an accent. No, that's not really a problem. And when you're going to go, unless you want to be like an English teacher, you should have a good accent. If you want to be an English teacher, like you should have an accent, and a good one, because people, they're going to to take from you, so you should have.
You are a model, example to follow.
Yeah. So what can you say about this?
Actually, as far as I'm concerned, I guess as I told you before, I always tell my students that falling in the trap of like choosing which accent would you like to go for, this is something that comes after, right? I mean, what matters for me is that you should speak a clean and a decent English. And people should put in their mind that native speakers are always native speakers. We will never be native speakers.
Yes.
Let's take the example.
Even if you speak like them.
I have met some of my American friends, and they have managed to, learn Darija in a very effective way. But still, when you hear them, you would
You can
tell that
tell.
they're not Moroccans.
Yes,
You're
yes,
not
yes.
Moroccan, right? So, and I don't like it when somebody compares himself or herself with others because like, oh, he has a better accent than mine. I just want to acquire this accent. No, oh my God, I think I'm not good. So guys, don't compare yourself to other people. What matters is that you learn a clean English. And after that, after learning the process, then you're going to, I think it comes just like that. It's intuitive for me. I have
Yeah,
never like said I should learn like US accent or British. I just got myself like that.
yeah. You never thought about it.
Yeah, it's
You just
intuitive,
found yourself speaking this way.
which is more beautiful. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
which is more
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. And
Yeah.
more and natural. You know, when I hear some people trying to imitate or trying to get sounds they don't
Uh-huh.
already have,
Yeah.
it sounds weird, you know?
Yeah, a native is always a native.
Yeah,
He's always, but still, if you guys really want to improve your accent and learn it more, I always tell you that listening is really an effective way of acquiring an American or a British accent. Look for what you love, look for what you like, and then go to. I always tell you that in today's world, we are bombarded with different ways of learning. You have like online learning, you have YouTube videos, online teachers. Now, a lot of people are like you now. You are just doing a good job. You are trying to make others love English by putting videos, by explaining idioms, by teaching grammar. I like that. There are a lot of sources now from where you can learn.
yeah,
You have no excuse. There's
yeah.
TV, social media, online libraries. A lot of things.
Yeah. And
Yeah, they are lucky. They are lucky to be presented with such meaningful resources.
yeah, and the problem here, I liked that you're working on your. You told me you're working to be a coach, a language coach. This is actually one of the really, it's really what we need because, as you said, the problem is not the resources. Problem is how to use them. Is guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Is where to start. Is how to start. Is to start and not quit.
Yeah.
Someone that can motivate you. This is what we really need because.
Especially for starters, for people who start from scratch, I don't think that they can handle the job alone. They
Yeah.
always need a teacher or a pedagogical guideline or someone who would just show them. It's like they need a map. They're lost because
Yeah.
they're like, I'm motivated, but I don't know how to pronounce alphabets. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to introduce myself. So you need someone to guide you first, to give you the map, to introduce you the language, to make you feel relaxed, to
Yeah.
play on your psychological factors, etc., so that you can learn better. Because English is like a sea. You sometimes just don't know from where to start. And when you start alone, you're going to be demotivated, and I'm sure of that. Because you are introduced to
Wrong starts.
Yeah, you need someone who.
That's what happened with That's what happened with French when we were kids. French was introduced to us wrongly. That's why we hated French. Most of us hated French because the starts are really what matters. If you start the right way, you'll never quit. You'll never quit until you get what you are looking for.
Just this morning I had a second back class. And I just was reprimanding them because they didn't do the homework. And one of the students stood up and said, "Teacher, I'm so sorry. It's not like we don't like you or we don't want you. You are doing your job. But teacher, since childhood, we have been introduced to English in a very negative way. And we tried so hard, but there are some teachers or some I don't know, that made us hate the language by just, transferring knowledge. By just saying, do this, and do that. We have never done something really more fun or creative. So they were like, we are now second back. And they don't even know how to put a sentence in the simple present. So as you said, attitudes matter. I'm not here to blame teachers or whatever, but you are teaching students.
No, we're not generalizing. We're not generalizing. When we said,
beings.
just when we talked about French and we said that most of our students hate French, this is a fact. We're not like telling or saying, we're not generalizing. We're not saying that all students hate French. Of course not. Like there are many students who are excellent in French and they love the French language. And we don't some people, they may understand this as we are English teachers, we have problems with French and we want to discourage people from learning French. That's not really true. We respect all languages and we think that all languages are important. After all, what is a language? It's a means of communication. So we want you guys to learn English because it's what you need. Not because English is better, not because English is a language that has come from our language, Arabic. لغة القرآن is the best language for us. But what language you need to succeed, what language you need to get better opportunities is English. Absolutely English and no other language, guys.
The person who inspired me was an English teacher. She was doing her job in the perfect way. And I mean, teachers should understand that sometimes psychological factors like have a huge impact on students' learning.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
what psychology, attitudes, what we hear, what we how you want to sound, like that's what matters. It's been 1 hour since we started this live. Time goes fast.
One of my students' comments saying that was my class because it happened to me just this morning. I just was really, disappointed, and they were like, teacher, we are afraid, like we only have a few months left, we don't know how to write even a paragraph. And that's because some teachers, they just used to give us homework, and lecturing.
They hate homework.
So that's one of the biggest challenges I face with my second back students. I always tell, what shall I do? Shall I just follow the program? Shall I teach them? Shall I add some extra hours, but I don't have much time? What shall I do?
That's what you should do. You should follow the program, and that's it. I get it.
Sure that you know what I'm talking about.
I've been through the same thing every day. So look, I'm going to take last question. Okay. And then we can end this live because it's been 1 hour.
Time flies fast.
Time flies fast, and it's been really interesting discussion. And guys, here were people who were watching and enjoying it and interacting with comments and likes. Thank you so much, guys.
By the way, I told my students, I'm so sorry. This morning, I introduced your Instagram account to all of my classes.
Amazing.
And I was like, guys, he's doing, we should support each other. We should
that's the aim.
Alhamdulillah, that a lot of people, not even teachers, there are people who I know that are very interested in English and they are doing a good job on Instagram, making videos, like creating new content, like doing a lot of good things. And I was like, guys, follow him. He's doing a good job.
That's great, actually. And I really like when I see someone. Yeah, of course, we need to support each other and we need to spread this. And I think if we get to have